What is going on, good people? I probably need to come up with like intro music or something. You think I'd be more prepared for the very first one? But I mean, it's been a while, and who really needs intro music, right? But anyway, welcome to the very first episode of the Inner Heel Turn podcast, the show where basically the stories get messy and the host refuses to play nice. So we're going to go with that. I'm your man, JB, your resident villain behind the mic, here to talk sports, music. I mean, it's WrestleMania season. We got to throw some wrestling in there from time to time. And I mean, some days we need to touch upon some mental health issues. I definitely understand and can relate. And we'll talk about that. But we're going to talk about the way they actually feel, though. Chaotic, dramatic, and in most cases, way too personal. We got no scripts, no filters, no corporate handshakes, just heat, honesty, and whatever madness the world throws at us today, or basically whatever I decide to cook up myself. Because around here, the truth always turns heel. So, but anyway, it's that time of year, man. It's March Madness time, right? It's whose brackets are really just still intact. Anybody's? I mean, mine aren't. And we all know why. There's a lot of culprits we can blame in that, right? Unfortunately, we cannot blame anybody who played Duke. Unfortunately, I wish we could. But I appreciate VCU knocking out my Tar Heels. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Didn't expect it, but watching it, did expect it. And then once it happened, I'm one of those guys. There's really no reason for me to keep up with too much anything else. I just dabbled here and there. I wasn't gonna sit around and watch a bunch of stuff. But Iowa, really, Florida, Iowa. You know, that team from Iowa that nobody trusts unless you live in Iowa. Let's be honest about it. They just walked into the gym. They looked at Florida and said, "Yeah, we're going to end your season today." And that's basically what happened. Florida, you did it to yourself, though. I mean, come on. You're going to full court press right then. You got to back off just a little bit. But it wasn't the only one. But it was great, even though I'm down here in SEC country. And, you know, you got to pull for the SEC and situations like this. But Florida fans were stunned. My one good bracket was stunned. I had them going to the Final Four. And I'm pretty sure the announcers were stunned. Stunned. Look, let me get back into it. I'm going to be tripping over a lot of my words. So just bear with me. But really, Iowa basically just said, we don't care about your seedings or your analytics or your defending champion storylines. You can just hold the sale. And that was basically what they did. I mean, I don't care how close it was. That's basically what they did. But it could have been worse, Florida. It could have been. I mean, yeah, number one seed. Looking to go back. Could have been Kansas. St. John's, I really appreciate you. I really do. Now, it's not on the same level, but it's really close. I can't stand Kansas just as much as I can't stand Duke. I guess Kansas wasn't an off year. Well, in Kansas' standards, yes, it was an off year. But uh, I loved it. It was even great when the Kansas fans were just sitting there like, wait a minute, we're Kansas. We're not supposed to lose in the second round to a team that hasn't been relevant since flip phones. Is that the last time St. John's was relevant? Flip phones? I mean, but Big John's, but St. John's, they did come in with that New York type of energy. You know, hit the big shots, defend like your scholarships depend on it. In Kansas, just disappeared. Oh, thank you. I need St. John's to do me one more favor, just one more, and that is I need you to beat Duke. If you do that, like St. John's Jersey, Patino's that coach, right? Of course. And then you had the teams, Purdue, Arizona. Yeah, they basically did what they're supposed to do. So we got some sort of normalcy out there, which you're gonna have. And even though, like I said before, SEC, well, we could not handle anything from Iowa this weekend. Kentucky, Iowa State, wow. I mean, honestly, that wasn't a game. That was a statement. And Kentucky fans walked in just nervous. Iowa State looked at them and said, "Don't worry about that. We'll make this real quick for you." And now, I guess you could say Kentucky's now getting ready for spring football. Does Kentucky really get ready for spring football? I mean, they're always ready for basketball, right? I don't know. I mean, SEC, I'd like to see Kentucky do, I guess, go deep in the tournament and make a statement for the SEC, but I don't really care if Kentucky gets knocked out. But we have the matchup set up for the Sweet 16 this weekend. If you care and your brackets still have a chance. Like I said, I got one. They still got a chance. How's it going, guys? They're just standing there. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, the studio today is inside a truck driving to the next job. I mean, starting back, trying to do this over again, trying to do this solo, which I've got to be out of my mind to do. So I've tried before, and that didn't work quickly. I mean, you got to do things outside the box. No need to be comfortable. That was a hard one to say right now. At home, having my thoughts together. No, we might as well just say, you know what, the hell with it. Let's do it in a truck leaving the 5-star city of Senatobia, Mississippi. Is that a city or a town? That's a town, right? Why are they 5-star city? Anyway, yeah. See, in case you haven't like read the description of this show or you accidentally clicked on the show, um, I'm bipolar, so that's how a lot of this is going to go. We're going to be in one direction, skip to another, and then we're going to pull it back around to this week of the Sweet 16, which I would not really be checking any of it out because I will be in an AAU basketball tournament, which I want to try to get some footage and stream for the podcast live. I won't try that. We'll see how that works, right? Just we're going to try to make this not as normal as possible. But anyway, Sweet 16 this weekend. Duke and St. John's head to head. I honestly believe Duke fans are sweating a little bit. I really do. Then we have Michigan and Alabama. I'm a little intrigued about that. I'll watch that if I can. UConn and Michigan State. I mean, let's go UConn. I don't really care for Michigan State. I know they haven't been relevant in a while, but so I hold grudges. And, you know, Team Cleves and that squad beating North Carolina. Yeah, so whatever. Iowa State and Tennessee. Somebody's season is going to end violently. Let's be honest about it. Probably Tennessee's. Then we have Nebraska and Iowa. I've seen it called the Midwest Civil War. I don't I don't really know why, but whatever. Arizona and Arkansas. Uh, I know I keep preaching SEC. Let's go Arizona. You know what? That's a hold grudges, man. Ever since Arizona knocked out Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson, I I don't really care for Arizona, but Arkansas did beat Ole Miss. And in case you don't know, this isn't going like worldwide right now. So anybody who's listening knows me. You know why I'm saying that. All right. I live in Oxford, so that should explain everything. And then Houston and Illinois. Let's go Houston. I think that's what I got in my bracket. But I mean, let's be honest. We'll all be back next year like a fool. Especially if your bracket is just completely done and you're not even gonna watch because your bracket is done. But the weekend was exactly what we thought it was gonna be. It was chaos, beautiful chaos at times, painful chaos. If you're a Florida fan or a Kansas fan, bracket destroying chaos, and then me and you, mama and your cousin too. We'll be right back next year filling out another bracket like we didn't learn a single lesson this year. Somebody is going to offer money to somebody for getting a perfect bracket or something like that. And we'll all be dumb enough to try to think that we are lucky enough to be the one that could do a perfect bracket. We all do. I mean, every time we fill that out, when we go to ESPN and we fill that out, we all think we know more than anybody else, and you probably do. But that's just what I love about sports. It's right when we all think we know, the basketball gods remind you that we don't know anything, nothing at all. I'm gonna switch gears, and I think I'm gonna wrap this up for right now. Which, if you're looking for a podcast to get you through the day or help you with that long drive you may be taking or the long commute for work, okay, this one is not it because there's not gonna be too many episodes where it's that long podcast to help throughout the days. There are gonna be times where this thing you might get about 3 minutes of me just because I feel like it, and who knows the mindset or the feeling that I'm gonna be going through at that moment, but I'm gonna give it because in all reality, this is mainly for me. This isn't for anybody else. If anybody else wants to jump on this journey with me, come on. I've got more than enough room. But I want to take a moment and let's talk from the heart a bit. Like I said before, I'm bipolar, and living with that means my days don't always look the same. Some mornings I wake up feeling like I could take on the whole world. Other days I just feel like the world is sitting on my chest. But here's the part I want you to hear, right? I'm still here. I'm still moving, and that counts. What I've learned in this is even on the days when my mind feels loud or heavy or unpredictable, there's always something steady to hold on to. Maybe it's a friend who just checks in. A lot of times it's a song that just hits at the right moment. We all have that, right? You need it, and you unexpectedly hit shuffle. The song hits. Just any small win that reminds me I'm not defined by my hardest days. Neither are you. But if you're listening, you've got your own battles, whatever they look like, whether in your mind they're big or maybe they're small. I hope you give yourself credit for the quiet victories. Getting out of bed, just drinking some water, showing up for yourself in any way you can. Those things matter more than people realize. I'm not perfect and I don't need to be. I'm learning to celebrate the days that feel good and be gentle with the days that don't. And if you're on that same journey, you're not alone. We're figuring it out together, one day at a time, and we'll make it through. So if you need some help, however I can do it, I'll try. And if it's just sitting there listening to me ramble about a bunch of nothing, jump from one wall to the other wall, or maybe you're just listening to one of those days, or for myself, not only for you, but for myself, we'll do it together. You're not alone. I'm not alone. We'll get serious around here sometimes, but for the most part, we're just going to be chaotic. Why not? Why have a structure? Yes, structure is good. You need a daily structure. For something like this, let's just throw it all out the window. Let's just have a good time. Don't have any catchy phrases to sign up. I'll come up with something though. And you might get one of those days where if you're looking for it, there might be 5 podcasts in one day. That will be your hour and a half to 2 hour podcast. I'll be around. But until next time.